He knows, right? It's never fun to be corrected. In fact, at the time, it's always painful. Well, there you go. It's scriptural if you don't like it. But if we learn to obey by being corrected, we will do right and live at peace. That's the English version. Man, I really like that. Don't you want to live at peace? If you, I know people who are things aren't going right in their life, or they're, one thing after another goes wrong, goes wrong, goes wrong. And finally, maybe somebody tells them the truth. Well, it's because you blah, 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 or you don't blah, blah, blah. Or the Lord says, psst, go this way, or don't go that way, and things will iron out. And, people across the board will stiffen their neck and say, no, I'm not doing that. It's because I want, and that's being uncorrectable. I'm not sure that's even a word, but, you want to be correctable, right? In fact, Proverbs, oh, this is going to hurt. Everybody lift your toes up. Proverbs 12, verse 1 says, whoever loves instruction loves knowledge. Ah, but he who hates correction is stupid. Oh, man.
Nice.
And you can see where somebody's trying to help you, either the Lord or your teacher or your boss or your spouse. Now, too much correction is not a great thing, right? If they correct everything you say, that's too much. But be open to correction. Here's something I learned about correction. If somebody corrects you, first of all, you really have to have relationship with somebody to be corrected, right? I always give this example. If I'm standing up and preaching and somebody out of the crowd just comes up to me afterwards and said, you preached that wrong, I just pat them on the head and go my way, because I don't know their motivation. I don't know what they're talking about, all that. But if the pastor, maybe who I know, maybe let's say I'm preaching at a church where I've known the pastor for 25 years, right? We're friends. I like them. They like me, right? If they came up and corrected me, or let's say I was at Pastor Artie's church, he's your pastor. I know him. I know his character. If he came up and corrected me afterwards, I would listen to him. Why? Because there's relationship, there's history. And so that's a good way to, be open to correction, but you don't have to take it from everybody. You know what I mean? Because some people have a different, completely wrong motive for correcting you there. Maybe they're just bossy, or maybe they think you should think like they do and they're wrong. Yeah. But if somebody that you have relationship with, including the Lord, or your pastor, some people love their pastor right up until he corrects them.
Oh, oh,
Right?
no.
Because again, nobody likes it. It's painful. But who wants to keep going in the wrong direction? And so I think it's important for all of us, if we want to grow up spiritually, if we want to continue our walk with the Lord, if we want to see signs, wonders, and miracles, if we want the power of God, we want the healing, we want the provision, we want all of his blessings, we want to learn to be correctable, because we're just not always right. I know it's hard to hear, but you're just not always right.